Good morning. This is Lydia Knox. I'm an artist, a witch, and an astrologer, and I come to you every day during the weekends and from Monday to Friday to give you the details about astrology, magic, and art. Today is, well, tonight or early tomorrow morning, depending on your time zone, is when we're going to have that full lunar eclipse in Taurus. So this is very exciting, and I've been thinking about this Taurus versus Scorpio opposition that's going on, and not only with the sun and the moon, which is intense, and especially in the form of a lunar eclipse, we have like a super pull of energy between Taurus and Scorpio, and that kind of energy actually brings up all those things that Scorpio and Tauruses share, which is a sense of needing to control things or being possessive or extra sensitive or overreacting. And since Mars is in the mix there right now, it's directly opposed to Uranus in Taurus. So we have Mars in Scorpio, which is very intense. The negative part is like jealousy, envy, um, revenge, right? Like the scorpionic sting. And Uranus in Taurus is like the bull in the china shop. And sometimes I can say that I'm very much like a bull in a china shop when it comes to uh, behavior, because I'm very blunt and honest and straightforward. And I myself have Venus and Mercury in Taurus, so I come off as like a Taurus, even though I'm a Gemini. This is why it's really good to look at somebody's chart, because just being a Cancer or just being a Virgo or just being a Libra doesn't tell the whole story. The whole story is in the chart itself, because the chart itself gives you pieces of the puzzle that you put together, and from that comes a reading, comes the soul of the person, and basically it's kind of like a compass. You can see what's going to happen ahead. You can see past traumas that have affected that person. Uh, every planet is like an actor, and every house that the planet is in is like a stage. So things can be different, and every chart is really individual. It depends on the person. So when I give you the details of the astrology now, that's half of the story. The other half is, what are you going to do with it? That's the other half of the story. So you put it together, and that's how an astrology report happens. So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of study. I have to look at the chart. I have to look at the transits. I have to compare the two. And then I put it together in a nice little package where I basically break it down so that the person who's asking me for astrology guidance can figure out what it is that I'm giving a report on. So back to the astrology of today, we have Uranus and Taurus opposing Mars. So both of those are like shake-up planets. Like Mars is a planet of action, it's a planet of war, it's a planet of sex, all those things. And it's pretty intense in Scorpio. Before Pluto was discovered, basically, Mars was the ruler of Scorpio as well as being the ruler of Aries. So it feels really at home in scorpionic energy, but it's more of a watery kind of force. Think of an undertow in the ocean, or a riptide, right? Something invisible, something that grabs you, and all of a sudden you're sunk, right? So that's the kind of energy we got going in in the Scorpion, in the Scorpio side of things. And then the Taurus things is like straightforward, blunt, um, you know, just go at it, just be on the simple and honest part of existence, and the two kind of clash together, and that can cause some tension, to say the least. And Uranus is not happy in Taurus. Uranus is an actor of change, an actor of things shaking up, of insecurity, hence. But Taurus represents money, so that's like the Bitcoin kind of market and stuff like that. At this point, I would not invest in Bitcoin, at least not for during the full moon, because things are really shaky and hazardous at this point. So, okay, the moon brings in an emotional charge into this situation. And because it opposes the sun, it's all about our egos, our emotions, how we see ourselves, how we feel, our intuitive powers, and stuff like that. And as witches and creatives, it is a great time to get busy with magic or art, right? Because all that energy can be utilized and turned into doing something about it, right? Not just sitting in this uncomfortable spot. And that's why witches do things during the full moon. That is why, because we basically take the charge of the energy and utilize it to our advantage. So, good thing here is Venus does interact well with Mars in Scorpio. Venus is in sensible Capricorn. There is a sense that we can actually organize and find clarity if we stick to practical things. So, Practical Magic, which is a great book by Alice Hoffman, by the way. But yeah, just try and organize your thoughts. Try and organize your feelings. Write out a list. Capricorn really loves lists, to-do lists, right? Or, pro and con lists. Just kind of try to find some kind of clarity in all this emotional mud, because that's water and earth interacting with each other and creating mud, which doesn't have much clarity, but thankfully the mountain goat Capricorn climbs above this to the top of the peak and is able to look below and see things more clearly. Thank goodness it's not interacting with Saturn in Aquarius. It's like that's a big few. It does a little. There's a little bit of rebellion, a little bit of just being ourselves in the mix, but it's not as intense as it would be if Saturn had moved forward a few degrees. So hey, you on that one. We missed that. We dodged that bullet. All right. So, okay. So, let's look at magic. And magic and art is really ruled by Neptune. And I really like to see how Neptune is interacting with this, right? Because that's another big bonus point. So Neptune is at 20 degrees in Pisces. And it trines, which means it really works well and easily with the sun in Scorpio. So magic is our key to being able to work through this thing. And I've said that before, and I'm going to say it again. Magic and art, man, on a watery, emotional. Do not deny your emotions. Do not press them down. Do not try and run away from them. Just if you feel gross, or if you're feeling angry, or if you're feeling sad, just let the feelings go and work through them in art and magic, because that is a way to kind of process them. And if it's something that's out of your control, give it up to the invisibles, right? That is the solution. Yeah, and Neptune also will interact with the moon in Taurus. So there's this grounding element that comes from doing magic and art that'll help us navigate the full moon. So it wouldn't, with all the scorpionic energy out there, I'm just gonna say it. Sex magic does do some great things. So I'm not going to go into details about this because it's not my style to talk about it. But, be creative, right? Even if you're alone, you know what you need to do. Yeah. And by practicing sex magic, you raise a lot of energy, and there's a lot of magic that comes through that. So with or without a partner, it doesn't matter. If you want to raise energy to make something happen, right? Write it on a piece of paper and, you know, then use your imagination. And concentrate, and after you finish, just concentrate all that energy onto the piece of paper and let the invisibles do their job. All right, so with that, I'm just gonna leave you guys. I am still working on this painting here behind me, which is Black Peter Takes a Walk. It's been a lot of fun. I'm probably going to be working more on that today, and also starting a portrait of a woman. And yeah, and the painting you see behind me over there is going to the Gray Gallery this Friday. So look forward to it if you're around. It's in Owen Sound, Ontario, Canada. So just drop by. And if you're catching this on YouTube, please like, share, follow, and watch my videos. Just kidding. No. No, I'm not. All right. Okay, with that, I'm going to say stay creative, stay magical, and I will see you guys later. Take care.